Hello everyone, it's Anton again from Leica Darkroom. In the previous videos I showed you how to build your personal basic setup for developing films at home, and we developed the first black and white roll of film step by step. Today we're ready for contact sheets, which is an overview of all of your 36 frame by a black and white film, where you can see a contrast, sharpness, and select the best images to print on a silver gelatin paper. It's very necessary to use the same paper if you're gonna print a final fine art print at the end. To print your contact sheets on a silver gelatin paper, we need to prepare chemicals. First it's a developer, then stop and fixer. For this size of the trays we need a minimum 2 liters of each solution, means 2 liters of developer, 2 liters of stop and 2 liters of fixer. I prepared measurement cylinders and marked all of them with a different color of tape, black for developer, yellow for stop and green for fixer, to avoid a cross-contamination of chemicals in the future. I will start with the developer. Today it's Adox Eco. Dilution is 1+4, means we need 5 parts in total. 1 part is a developer and 4 parts of water. For 2 liters we need 400 milliliters of developer, concentrate and 1600 milliliters of water. The temperature of water should stay around about 20-22 degrees Celsius. (400 milliliters of developer) and water up to 2 liters. And it goes to the tray, which is also marked in black. I always know here was a developer. Stop solution we need 1 + 19, means 100 milliliters for 2 liters of water. Stop is the second step of the process. And as a fixer we're gonna use merge photochemie alkalish fixer, which is opposite to acid and almost odorless, so it does not smell badly in a dark room. Dilution is 1 + 10, means we need 200 milliliters for 2 liters of fixer. Mixing intensively, carefully, with no drops or splashes, but actively. It should be done the reaction to connect the concentrate of a chemical with the water. This is it for main chemicals, developer, stop and fixer, and the last step gonna be always washing, just a tap, running water. We're ready to cut the negatives from a drying cabinet now and to start printing. For that we don't need a total darkness, we can use a red safe light. To prepare the films for contact sheet printing, I have to cut them in stripes of 6 frames. This is a light table. The film is dry now. We still should be careful, better to use gloves now. And we just cut with the scissors. This is trash. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And depends what sleeves are you using. If you're gonna use later paper or pergamene sleeves, not necessary to put it in right now, it's better to do after contact printing. We can just store it in here. Or you can use a transparent polypropylene acid-free archival quality sleeves, then you can put them directly into that and print contacts in the sleeves. I will cut one more film to show you the difference. That transparent polypropylene should be archival quality. Please do not use normal files, which is acetate, cheapest ones. The negatives are ready to be printed as contact sheets, and I'm switching off all the white lights and keep only a red safe light for that. We would need a contact printing frame or just a glass. And we need a photographic paper which is sensitive to the light but not to the red safe light. I will put it to a special safe. At first we can do a test strip to find out the right exposure time for our contact sheets. This is a photographic paper. I put emulsion up, put the negatives on top, cover with a glass, and I set up a normal contrast grade, which is 2, or just normal contrast paper could be, and timing for 2 seconds to make a test strip. With the 2 seconds I will expose first stripe, 4 seconds for next one, then 6, 8, 10, 12, and after developing we will select which is the best in terms of contrast, details and shadows, and factures and the highlights. We need a black cardboard, and we're ready to expose a photographic paper through the negatives. 2 seconds. Now I'm covering the first stripe and it will not get a light anymore, so it will stay pretty bright. 2 seconds more and cover the next stripe. 2 seconds, cover in the next stripe. 2 seconds, cover, and the last one. Now what we would have after developing it in the chemicals, we would have different densities or different shades of gray and black on our different stripes. 2 seconds would be pretty bright, then 4, 6, 8, 10, 12 seconds is the darkest. And Later we have to select which is the right exposure for our overall view of contact sheet. We open it carefully. Negative stays here. And the paper I have to develop now in a developer. "90 seconds or 1 minute 30. And we're gonna see the lightest and darkest stripe and different shades of gray somewhere in the middle. We are printing from a negative to negative paper, which gives us a positive at the end. As less light we expose, as brighter the final result. If we would like the image to be darker, we need to expose more with the light. This was a developer. And we bring a test strip now to a stop for 30 seconds. And it's very important not to bring those developer tongues to the stop or fixer, otherwise we will contaminate later the developer and it will die quickly. Now it's a fixer, and in 1 minute we can switch on the lights. And white light. So now we can wash it a bit, just with the water. And inspect with a white light. So what we see, 2 seconds is too bright, 4 also, 6 I still don't see some values on the highlights, and I would say that 8 is perfect and 10 and 12 is too dark when we lose details and shadows. So for the final contact sheet we will use 8 seconds of exposure, and now we will expose the whole film into one sheet of paper. Lights off. So we developed a test strip and selected 8 seconds as a perfect timing for our contact sheet. So on a timer I change it for 8 seconds, still the same contrast. We take now a sheet of photographic paper, put carefully negatives on top, pressing with a glass, and now we expose the complete set of frames in 8 seconds. Ilford Barita black and white paper now is exposed under the negatives for 8 seconds. We put out the negatives carefully, and the photographic paper now needs to be developed, soaked and fixed in the chemicals. After that we can switch on the white light. Here is a magic, how the images appears from a white paper. I've seen it 1,000 times, how the images appears from a white paper, and it's still magic for me. So with 1.5 minutes of development, we reached the level of blacks, deep blacks on the paper. We cannot develop more, it will just become foggy. Now we have to stop the process. "30 seconds in a stop solution. The last one is a fixer bath. The whole process of fixing will take 3 minutes, but after first minute we can switch on the light and see the results. Agitation is very important for that process as well, similar to development of the films. And now white light. So now we can see all 36 frames. I will wash them a bit. And here you go. The main advantage of contact printing compared to scanning that you really can see the difference of exposure, if it was underexposed or overexposed somewhere, and the tonal range and the contrast of your negative. If you do just a scanning, then software is compressing each and every frame, and they looks pretty much similar, but they are not on a real film. And now I can really see what was underexposed, and I need to think about that for future to make some corrections. Or I know from here which type of paper and what contrast I need for final print. So now after 30 minutes, after developer, stop and fixer, this is how a contact sheet looks like. And the final print I will put to archival vertical washer for 1 hour. Today you learned how to make your contact sheet. We exposed the photographic paper. It was developed and fixed. Now it's into the washer for 1 hour, and then it's gonna be dried. Next day I can put my contact sheet together with original negative into the archival folder. Thanks for watching and stay tuned. In the next episode I will show you how to make a fine art photograph.